Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's November 29th, 2022. It's 0 degrees out. It was kind of cold this morning. Now it's just kind of mild. There's nothing on the ground as far as snow. It's green out there still. It doesn't feel like we're the end of November, but we are, and it means things are getting busy. Yesterday was the first real sign that the Christmas rush has begun at the post office. It was a long day. I worked for 9.5 hours without stopping, no breaks, no lunch. I did 3 trips out to deliver mail and parcels and flyers, and I still could have went out a 4th time to finish things up, but I had other commitments. I had to pick up my son and things from school, so I had to stop there. So today was another busy day, 3 trips, but got it finished a little bit earlier, and I suspect that's the way we're gonna go now for the next few weeks. Getting ready for Christmas. We'll be working 6 days a week. Here in Canada, we'll be back to working on Sundays. I know not everybody in Canada and the post office works on Sundays. There are exceptions to that rule. Usually the major centers, they do Sunday delivery, but in the rural areas, they don't do that. So not everybody is going to be working Sundays, but I will be. But I did want to show you what arrived last week. I had 3 envelopes show up last week from different people. 2 people I know and 1 I don't. And they all contain postcards. So I wanted to show you what showed up. So let's get started with the first one I have here. It comes from Wendy. You can see she put the reconciliation stamp on there. And inside, Wendy said she couldn't resist when she was at the post office. And what she couldn't resist was she bought some stamps that she had here. Sent me those, which is great. And she bought a whole bunch of prepaid postcards that I can send out. This is one of the postcards that came, or one of the stamps that came out earlier this year. Of course, they make a postcard out of it as well. They're themed of all the different regions. Here we have the Canadian Rockies, traveling by train. Here you have the East Coast postcard with the lighthouse. Also, we have the Rose postcard. We have this postcard from Newfoundland of the lighthouse. These ones I must show you here too. That has the rose on the back to match, so it's kind of like a maxi card. And same thing with these ones here, they match the postcards. Now, the ones that are more specific to areas, they usually just have the Canadian flag on the back. Like this one here. Nice flowers seen. This wildflowers grace Canada's landscape from coast to coast. And on the back, just the Canadian flag. Here's one of Niagara Falls. And a glacier. So a variety of images that you would see within Canada. So thank you, Wendy, for the stamps. Thank you for the postcards. I will use them probably very soon. I love the prepaid cards when they show up because postage is already paid, so it's that much cheaper for me to send things out. But it is a magnificent looking card, and I love the card stock that Canada Post use for the prepaid cards. All right, the next envelope that showed up came from Bob in Ontario. He sent this one here with the Masstown, Nova Scotia lobster sticker on the back. And he says, Bob is Ontario, he put some sticky notes to thank me for what I do or my positivity I try to put out into the world. I appreciate that. But he sent me vintage postcards. And not vintage postcards of Ontario where he is, but right here. This is Magnetic Hill in Moncton. There are no dates on it, but you can tell from the vehicles in it what kind of dates they would be. It looks like in the 70s, based on that truck that's there. And here you've got a covered bridge of Alma into Fundy National Park. This particular bridge no longer exists anymore, so it's kind of nice to have it in a postcard form. Then you have this one here. This is Fundy National Park again. This is some of the trailer camping you could do. And I believe this image is taken up. There's a section of the park where they have swing sets and a golf course. I think that's where this is. They used to have a bunch of little cabins there too, but they're all now gone. Then we have this one here. This is Campobello Island and the lighthouse. Also from some time ago. Here's Owl's Head, also in Fundy National Park. And you can tell by the outfits that the family there is wearing, it is from a time gone by. This one here is Animal Land. Now, Animal Land was closed for a very long time, but the last couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago maybe, it opened back up again. So Animal Land is back again. I'm not sure if this particular scene still exists out there, but it might. It's kind of a campground trailer park area. Then we have this one here, the Reversing Falls in St. John. Here's another image of St. John, a nighttime image of the city. And the final one, this is the rocks at high tide and low tide. Now, I've sent out several postcards that have this similar type image on it depicting the tides, but nothing so vintage as this. You can see that I'm not sure where they were stored, but there is a little bit of water damage on it. But all of these postcards are all blank, so I can send them off into the world again. It's usually what I do, because I'm not really a collector of postcards per se. I know there are many people out there that do collect postcards. I collect the ones that people send me, and I save them, put them in an album, and protect them that way. But as for saying I'm looking for a certain type of postcard, that's not me. I just like getting postcards and seeing how they're decorated, and reading what people are willing to share with me on them, and see the stamps that people used. Now, so thank you, Bob, for all those vintage postcards of New Brunswick. Finally, this envelope showed up, and it went to my P.O. box, and there's no name on it. There's no information in it that says who it's from, so I don't know. Other than the stamps that say, show me it's from the United States, that's the only indication I know where this envelope originated. But other than that, I do not know. And in it, the person put in some floral stickers. Some nice ones that I can use to decorate cards with. And shiny. And then you have some more of these circular ones. There's even some birds on some. So there's that. And then there were this greeting cards. It says, "Happy holidays. May your heart be warmed with happiness and joy throughout the holiday season and always." So we have those. So for people that like greeting cards, you could use them as that, or you probably could cut the top off of it and use it as a postcard. I'm not sure how I will use it, but I will use them. I will send them out. So there are 2 like that one. And get this straight here. And there's 2 like this one here with the dog and cat cuddling under Santa's hat. And it says, "Warm wishes and holiday cheer." And inside it says, "Hope all your holiday dreams come true." So that's pretty cute. And then there was this postcard here that has a walrus and it has frogs and all sorts of different animals within it. Looks like a very Aboriginal card, almost Inuit in the way that it's put together, but I'm not sure if it is or not. It just says Sue Kochia 2015 was where the image comes from. And then there's this nice black and white postcard. It says, "Remember yesteryear." It does say this Iowa. Is that a hint to where this originally originates from? I'm not sure. This one also comes from Iowa. It looks like a train station. And then we have Niagara Falls from the American point of view. And it's a vintage postcard. And I have this vintage postcard here. We have this Hummel postcard, which would originally come from Germany, but this one on the back, it says it comes from New York City. So, and then this postcard too looks like another Hummel one. This is printed in Belgium. And then the Boosie dog collection from Iowa. So did these come from Julie Dorman, who's in Montana, that collects and sells vintage postcards? I don't know. Is this from you, Julie? We have this nice train postcard. Is this from Smokey, who's in Wisconsin? This car one here too. So all these final cards are all originally from Iowa. But that's the only indication really I have of where they might be from, or whoever sent them to me might be from, or maybe it's from a neighboring state. Put them all back in here. So whoever mystery person you are, thank you so much for thinking of me and sending this packet. I will make great use of sending those stickers out into the world, those postcards back into the world for other people to enjoy them. I appreciate it so much. That's all I've got today. I hope you guys are having a quick week, getting lots of things at the post office or at your mailbox. I hope your work week isn't very busy. This just happens to be my busy season. I have lots of times where I am done very quickly, and people are jealous of how quickly it gets done. This is when I kind of have the payback, when I work longer hours, I don't take breaks, and I just try to get through it, get it done so people can have their parcels in a quick fashion, hopefully in great condition when it arrives at their doorstep, and hopefully no porch pirates come by. If you're not familiar with the term porch pirates, those are people that kind of follow around delivery trucks, and after they kind of leave the neighborhood, they go and they steal the parcels. It's sad that people are out there doing that. Maybe they are in such tough times too. That's the only way that they can find to get presents for their families. And it's too bad that we put such an emphasis on presents at Christmas time or at the holiday season. So hopefully if you're in my neighborhood where I'm delivering, that people aren't stealing the parcels and that the customers are actually getting them, I hope. So cross the fingers that people are good out there and doing that. Also that those people that break into community mailboxes, hopefully they don't do any of that this year. I know last year I had a whole bunch of my community mail boxes get broken into, and it's a pain to have to get the RCMP involved, and sometimes they catch people, sometimes they don't, but it's an inconvenience for everybody who's expecting something in a parcel or in a letter to know that their boxes get broken into. And why did I go here? I have no idea. So I'm going to get off that topic and get back into saying, hope you guys have a magical week. What follow? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?